Join us for a month of Pride Stories on News 6 and ClickOrlando.com. Live from ClickOrlando.com and WKMG, we're getting results in your neighborhood now at 4 p.m.
WKMG is hitting the road to Osceola County.
And this is truly a place for everybody.
We are highlighting the 34744 zip code.
1994, we were at 32,000 people. And, here we are, 82,000, probably pushing 85.
It's growing.
And a lot of folks will say we're the 58th city of Puerto Rico.
But also holding tight to its roots.
Osceola County was based on ranching and citrus, and for years and years, so we're just trying to keep all the traditions alive.
Today, we're bringing you the stories you told us you wanted to focus on in your community.
Thank you so much for joining News 6 Live in Osceola County as we hit the road to the 34744 zip code, spotlighting the community in and around it. This is News 6 at 4. I'm Julie Broughton.
And I'm Ginger Gadsden. This is our fourth hot spot for our Hits the Road tour. And man, is it incredible. We are covering all things in the 34744 zip code, which is primarily Kissimmee with a little bit of St. Cloud in there. It's home to a lot of history with the Silver Spurs Arena and a portion of downtown Kissimmee area with so many small businesses. There's also beauty with both Lake Toho and East Lake Toho serving as a beautiful backdrop.
And part of our goal with Hitting the Road is to hear your questions or concerns and to get answers. And many of you had something to say about the roads.
Yeah, traffic and growth, both a major concern for people who live and work in the 34774 zip code area. And of course, investigator Mike DeForest shows us, though, it's not all bad. There is relief on the way.
Now, these road projects won't relieve all of the traffic congestion in this part of Osceola County, but county officials say, please be patient. And over the next couple of years, as these roads start to open, including the ones that have already opened, they believe it's going to make this place an even better place to live and work.
Yeah, I was reminded today about the growth in this area when I was driving, and I was like, this is what they've been talking about.
Yes.
Because there was so much traffic. I started my journey at 1 o'clock today, and, it took quite a minute to get here, but I passed on some of those roads you talked about. It's like,
yes.
Okay, this is why they need the growth and expansion.
And part of the reason we did this story was to show the big picture.
Yeah.
Folks have been told about these projects for several years now, but I think when you're out on the road, you see those construction barrels, sometimes lanes are closed, you get frustrated that that's just adding to the congestion, but you need to do the construction in order to make things better. We saw the project that always comes to mind is the I-4 project.
Yes.
It was under construction for years, but once it's open, wow,
Right.
it's nice, and that's what they say is going to happen here eventually.
Eventually.
Couple years.
All right. Thank you, Mike. Our coverage moves now to the areas that help serve this zip code, including downtown Kissimmee, of course. It boasts a nearly 150-year history, and that charm is still present as you walk down beautiful Main Street. Look at that shot there. In fact, according to Experience Kissimmee, the downtown area is the largest independently owned restaurant district in Central Florida with more than 30 family-owned restaurants. News 6's Ezzy Castro gives us a look at how the area is evolving without letting go of its past.
When you drive through downtown Kissimmee, right away you can see history. Our first stop was the Kissimmee Main Street Welcome Center, formerly known as the Standard Oil Filling Station. Next door to it, construction for a new venue called Violet's Garage. So you can say there's a bit of everything.
There's so much more here, and we think that we're in such a unique position here. We are close to the theme parks, but you can be completely separate from the theme parks in a historic downtown.
Tom Tomerlin with the City of Kissimmee says they are working on some ideas to redevelop the brand of downtown Kissimmee, but they can't do it alone. They need help from the community.
People like the authenticity of having a real downtown, and they can tell when they walk the streets of a historic downtown like Kissimmee that they're in a real place that's kind of withstood that test of time.
Through a feedback workshop, people used Post-it notes to share their opinions and what improvements they would like to see for downtown Kissimmee. One person wrote, "Keep the small town feel." Another wrote, "We need better streets for walking and biking." So we took it upon ourselves to do some exploring around too. If you've been to downtown Kissimmee, you know this is the home for several small businesses, including Buchito, which opened its doors 10 years ago, and they are known for their Cuban coffee and hand-rolled cigars.
What we need to do is basically have that thread that pieces together that quilt of all these different little components of Kissimmee in one larger quilt.
For 80 years, people from all over the world have been coming to the 34744 zip code to experience the Silver Spurs Rodeo.
Yeah, anchor Lisa Bell has a look back at its humble beginnings and how it has grown to the largest rodeo east of the Mississippi. All right, so I love that story. And you heard from the big boss in that story. So joining us now, and we checked, the little boss of Silver Spurs Riding Club, Randy Booth. Randy, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you guys very much.
First of all, I'm digging your hat.
Oh, yeah.
I really, really like it. But talk to us about the importance of this club.
The Spurs has grown with the community. You talk about the growth and how big it is. What we see coming now is new, younger generations of kids starting to maybe make family traditions to come to the rodeo, and we love it. We're trying to keep up with the times, you know, and have a good time. So we're growing with the county. That's what we're doing.
So what would you say to somebody watching at home who's like, okay, maybe the rodeo isn't necessarily my thing? Why do you say, hey, give it a try and maybe it could be your thing?
You know, a rodeo isn't just the animals. There's action, there's comedy, there's clowns, there's good food, good people.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a whole show. With you might get to see somebody hooked by a bull or thrown off a horse, you know.
A lot of action.
Yeah, it's very, full of action.
And cool hats.
And cool hats.
Right, so we got it all.
Is that required to come out and see a rodeo, though?
No, ma'am, it is not required, but it is. It's not required, but you should get one if you can. You look better to have. I
It's
mean,
like the Derby. You gotta play the part.
That's pretty sweet.
Sure.
All right,
Thank you
so much.
Thank you.
Still ahead, from the arena to the nature trails and airboat adventures. Don't miss our insider guide tour of the hot spots in Osceola County. Jonathan.
I love that. That's a fantastic story right there. That's what you might see if you head down to the rodeo. We are pinpointing scattered thunderstorms heading toward the Kissimmee area right now, hanging around the Orlando, Apopka area, Titusville, Mims. We've been getting rocked for the last couple of hours. We are going to pinpoint where those are headed coming up after the break.
News 6 Insider is sponsored by Orange County Library System.
Traffic doesn't happen in here. It happens out here and here. I'm traffic safety expert Trooper Steve. And yes, I am a real estate trooper. I grew up here. I'm the only traffic expert who's actually investigated crashes, who's patrolled these roads. I know how that traffic is going to affect your morning commute. So if you want real advice from my real experience on your Central Florida roads, you got to start here and you got to watch before you go.
Roofclaim.com, your easiest roof ever. Live with Lisa Bell, Julie Broughton, Ginger Gadsden, and Chief Meteorologist Tom Sorrells. You're watching WKMG, getting results at 4 p.m.
Welcome back, everybody. We are here at Matador Tacos and Tapas Bar in downtown Kissimmee. And if you have been to this part of Osceola County before, then you know there is a ton going on.
There sure is. But it's not just all restaurants, bars, and shops. Oh, no, there's so much more. There's a lot to see outside of town if you know where to go. News 6 Insider Guy Crystal Moyer explored the shores of East Lake Toho and around the city of Kissimmee to highlight the most popular sights, eats, and fun.
Okay, I can highly recommend one of the things she did in that
I know
story.
You can.
It's the airboat. Oh my gosh, we went out with Captain John. It was fantastic. We saw a lot of gators, but we saw a ton of birds as well.
You know, and I was telling you, I've always been scared to do one, but I think I would feel safe with him. I think you have to pick the right person, so I think I'm going.
He's your guy.
And Matt both raved about it. Crystal raved about it, so.
Yeah, he's fantastic. Yeah, so hopefully he'll be joining us, I think, in the 5:30 hour. I know, I'm so excited to have him come and join us. Hopefully he doesn't get rained on his way out here.
Right. I know we're sad that meteorologist Jonathan Kagas couldn't be out here with us today, but I just checked the radar on our News 6 app. And Jonathan, you've got a lot of rain to track out there. We've been dealing with heavy rain in a lot of spots throughout the week.
Yeah, and
we miss you out here, though.
I miss it, too. I miss you guys, and I miss the tacos. It looks really good. It looks like there's a lot of fun in Kissimmee. If you're heading in that direction, to see the ladies in the new 6 team. We do have scattered downpours and thunderstorms moving through Altamont Springs, heading right on into the downtown Orlando metro, coming out of Titusville right now. We also have more development in and around Ocala, just lighter stuff right now. The lightning closer to Fort McCoy. The Villages, we're on the drier side now. We do have a downpour just southwest of town. You see that rogue lightning strike just begin to pop up. The heaviest stuff right now coming out of Seminole County, moving into northern Orange County as well. You see that green line on your screen. That is what we call an outflow boundary, that rain-cooled air rushing out ahead of the thunderstorm, so likely cooling down and getting a little breezy for us, even though it's not raining right now in Oak Ridge into the Hunters Creek area. The storms are on their way, and we'll likely see more storms start to develop right on top or right as that line continues to go out. Still under the influence of the tropical moisture, certainly nothing like what they're experiencing in southwest Florida, but you see the green on your screen there extended right into the Caribbean, right into the southwest Gulf of Mexico. All of that is coming down the pipeline. We have ingested some of that drier air over the past couple of days, especially for us north and west of I-4 is what we've been talking about. You can clearly see the difference here in terms of the rain over the last 3 days. Again, just about a trace in Ocala, in Palm Coast, for us in the Villages, right around a trace. Some places isolated a little bit more than that. The heaviest rain locally has been in around the Kissimmee area, southwest Osceola County to the west of Yeehaw Junction, and then also for us in the Mims, Titusville, we've at least got some of that drought-busting rain. Palm Bay, though, we've kind of been out of luck. Same for us in Mims, Melbourne. We picked up about 1 inch or 2 of rain over the past couple of days. As you might imagine, especially for those that have missed out on the rain, the drought situation getting worse. This is the Keach-Byram Drought Index, and essentially this is measuring the amount of moisture in the atmosphere, or in the ground, I should say. So where you see the orange colors here, look at the scale. The higher the number, the drier the soil and the vegetation, so that if we get those fire conditions to return, the dry relative humidities, the low relative humidities, and the gusty winds, we could have some issues. Again, some improvements to the I-4 corridor, certainly not out of the woods just yet. Future radar again showing us over the next several hours, filling in there as we move from kind of the northeast to southwest there with the scattered thunderstorms still in the mix. These will fizzle out overnight. I think we start things off mainly dry tomorrow, just like what we did today. And then we are going to fire things back up again. For that, here's a look at your pinpoint. Accurate forecast.
Your forecast is sponsored by Freedom Health Medicare Advantage Plans.
We're fast forwarding now to 5 o'clock on your Friday, and pretty much rinse, wash, and repeat. Same kind of motion, same kind of area that we start these storms off. We'll be seeing those scattered showers and thunderstorms again. Temperatures tomorrow back to around 90 again. That 60% shot you see there is mainly for the latter stages of the afternoon into the evening. Improving conditions, though. Improving weather for Father's Day weekend. Only a 20% shot for storms on Sunday. Staying on the drier side for most of the week ahead beyond Saturday, guys.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. WKMG hits the road and heads to you, the viewer, after the break.
We ask you to weigh in on the 34744 zip code, the shout-outs, concerns, and facts you may not have known coming up. Plus, we go behind the scenes at Neo City Academy, and it was able to become a net positive school, not taking any power from the grid. How much money that saves the district every year. You're watching News 6 as we hit the road to Kissimmee, bringing you live coverage at Matador Tacos and Tapas Bar. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Light Orlando, delivering hope together. This portion of the news is sponsored by SmartLiner.
Welcome back to WKMG Hits the Road. We are live at Matador Tacos and Tapas in Kissimmee. And Ginger, it is time to go through some viewer mail. Are you ready?
You know how we like some viewer emails.
We get some good ones.
Yeah, when we announced we were going to Osceola County, we got a lot of comments and emails from you. And that's what we really want. It's your conversation. It's a two-way street, right? So here are a couple of positive things we heard. Keith sent this one in. He says, an ice skating rink here with 2 former Olympians as skating coaches, as well as hockey and curling. Sherry told us she lives in Kissimmee Heights, and after growing up in the area, and even built their own house in front of her parents. I love that. You're keeping it close to the family, right? So people had some critical things to say, too, as you might imagine, especially about congestion. Don't we all? Eric thinks there's not enough space. Housing costs are rising, and we're not going to be able to help you with this one. But There are just too many insects.
Yeah,
just a lot of bugs.
We can't help with that, but we do agree. I think that's a Florida thing.
I think it is. It's just like welcome to Florida. You're just going to have to deal with it. But thank you for engaging with us. We really appreciate it. We have a lot more to show you about the big stories in this community,
including the city manager's response to those congested roads. And also, you'll want to stick around with us. The high-tech Mecca being built nearby. WKMG hits the road. We'll be right back.
Get to know your morning meteorologist, Candace Campos. Weekdays on News 6 Mornings. Discover the magic of color at Crayola Experience, Orlando's most colorful hands-on family attraction. Live with clickorlando.com and streaming on News 6 Plus. This is News 6 at 4:30. Getting results.
WKMG is hitting the road again. This time we are in Kissimmee for an afternoon of live broadcast right from the Matador Tacos and Tapas Bar, where they have a lot of delicious food and drinks. And there are a lot of people here already. We're so excited. We love it. I'm so surprised that there are people who are here before we even started our broadcast.
Yes, they're dedicated.
Yeah, so glad you stayed with us. I'm Ginger Gadsden. Lisa Bell is off today.
Thanks for sticking with us. I'm Julie Broughton. This is News 6 at 4:30, Getting Results. And if you are in the area, we would love to see you. We're having the best time, so just stop by. Again, the restaurant is right in downtown Kissimmee along Broadway. We're right at the corner of Broadway and Monument, so very easy to find. It is just down the street from the beautiful Lake Toho. As News 6 investigator Mike Holfeld found out, it's a beautiful area energized by diversity.
If I was going to say, come to Kissimmee and don't miss this.
Oh, my goodness gracious, Lakefront Park.
It captures the essence of the lakes and cow country of yesteryear.
Serenity from the hustle and bustle of a very busy, growing community.
To 21st century cosmopolitan.
Looking out the window over my shoulder, you see the 8-story building called City Center. And this is truly a place for everybody.
That's how City Manager Mike Steigerwald quantifies the landscape of Kissimmee, Florida, 34744.
In 1994, we were at 32,000 people. And, here we are. 82,000 and probably pushing 85.
Steigerwald's perspective is built on his start as an entry-level urban planner fresh from the University of Buffalo. Today, as city manager, he has a front row seat to a diverse community that offers a blend of old Florida and urban cool.
And a lot of folks will say we're the 58th city of Puerto Rico. I think I've got the number right because we have such a large Puerto Rican population.
The blended population has created a wave of international cuisine and visitors to enjoy it all. That, along with the advent of high-paying jobs and a growing population, is placing a strain on Kissimmee's infrastructure.
What's the big sell? I mean, people are just flocking here.
So we have great weather, low taxes, and in this area in particular, 2 major job centers, either in it or near it.
Veteran Congressman Darren Soto is working closely with Kissimmee city leaders to obtain federal funding through RAISE grants, available for high congestion local roads, playing to a major challenge for the area.
Traffic. Neptune Road is basically the preference for most folks who live in Kissimmee, traveling to St. Cloud, and vice versa. And that spans through 34744. We're looking to expand it to 4 lanes all the way through, and in some areas even expand it beyond there. And that connects to other key roads that are already in expansion, from Simpson Road to Narcoossee Road, all under expansion right now. Because you have a lot of people who want to live right on the doorsteps of Lake Nona, a lot of jobs now both in Lake Nona and growing in Neo City. So jobs are on the upswing, but we need to make sure we continue to develop the roads to be able to support this growing population.
In Kissimmee, Mike Holfeld, Getting Results, News 6.
And why wouldn't people want to live here? I mean, so much going on. Beautiful.
It's really just the drive here and then around town a little bit. You kind of get the thing that I noticed about how this is different from some of our other locations. You know, the last one, it was small and intimate, right? Yes. This one definitely does not have a small feel to it. You can tell that it is boomtown in action, and it's huge. But I love that too. So such great diversity, as Mike mentioned.
Best of both. When I was driving here, I got really excited because I saw cows, and I wanted to tell someone now I'm telling all of you. I'm like, this is great.
Just don't stop on the side of the road, because she would. All right. As you heard in that piece, they were talking about Neptune Road, and that's the focus of Trooper Steve's Hits the Road segment. That part of the story is coming up a little bit later on at 5 o'clock, so stay with us for that. Our next story, though, focuses on an incredible program created helping get students take the next step for their future.
This is a great program. Now, back in 2010, Osceola County was 61st out of 67 Florida counties for high school grads going to college, but now they are in the top 5, and it's largely thanks to the Osceola Prosper program. So as you can imagine, we wanted to learn more about it, so we headed to the district office to talk to the guidance counselor, the career and college counselor of Osceola Prosper. Okay, so I butchered her title there in the beginning, but you can see she is all-knowing of college and career for the whole district. And to be able to talk to these students, and she said it removes the fear of students so they don't take themselves out of consideration for something, and that's life-changing. Like she said, that's no small thing, and so many kids coming back. And the great thing about this, there are no income limits. There are no GPA requirements. There are no test score requirements. So it truly is for everyone who is a 2024 Osceola County graduate. It can include homeschool students.
That's great. I love that, because the education experience is different for different people. We're not a monolith. We all don't learn the same, and we don't all have the same desires to do the same thing. So I love that. And she has a big, important title, so it was hard to remember.
She does. And you can tell that she loves her job.
Yeah, you can. And that's important, too, because the students obviously feel that as well. Love that. All right. We now want to take you to a popular, very popular family-run business here in the 34744 zip code. It's called Malau Bakery, and it's the only place in town where you can find any of your favorite Puerto Rican snacks and pastries all in one place. Anchor Lisa Bell, Lucky Duck, caught up with the owner's son about how they have been able to keep their scratch kitchen going for 16 years.
When you look at your menu, what I'm also amazed by is the prices. So you have a ham and cheese sandwich for $2.99, and that's like a 6-inch sandwich. How in this day and age in 2024 are you able to keep your prices so low?
I'd rather have more volume of clients coming in than actually getting more out of it and having less clients. A lot of people do talk about what they're eating. Oh, you know what? It's only $2.99. Let's go back there. I'd rather have 200 clients than 15.
And, you know, the Colon family now owns the building and just opened a second location in Orlando, if that's any indication of how popular it actually is. And ta-da, with the magic of TV, look at what we have right now. They came out nice and early from the Malau Bakery and dropped this off. I don't know what any of this is or what it means.
Is that yuca?
Is it?
I don't know.
Let me find out.
Was I right?
It is. And it's actually very tasty.
It all smells so good. It all looks delicious. So many different things to choose from. I know Lisa was raving about all of the food.
We were sitting in studio watching her eat, and we were like so enraged. Like, why didn't we get to try that? But now we do. This is all so delicious. You talked about the sandwich there.
Yeah, we've got some macaroons over here.
Okay, I'm going to try macaroon because.
Right. Do we want to split one?
It's one. No, I don't. I don't.
The woman who doesn't.
I don't want to share one with you. I'm sorry. I'm a terrible eater on television.
Me too. It really triggers me. It
doesn't translate well. But this. Oh my God, that's good.
They're delicious.
That's good.
Okay. All right. Still ahead, inside Neo City Academy, how the school is making simple steps that is saving the district big money, from no cafeteria to really no need for a bunch of lights. Don't miss the story coming up. Jonathan.
That's messed up, ladies. We are in the studio pinpointing some scattered thunderstorms, so missing out on some of those great eats that they are having in Kissimmee. We do have storms on the way, though. The outflow boundary pushing down. We'll likely see more storms pop up through the evening. We're going to pinpoint the timeline of that for you coming up.
This portion of the news is sponsored by your Central Florida Honda dealers. Hit the road to East Orlando and asked you to tell us your concerns about your community. You said this dangerous abandoned mobile home park was a neighborhood hazard.
It looks like, you know, a bomb or a hurricane just went through there.
So we got to work, investigated, and got results. Now it's being torn down. Meeting you and helping make positive change in the community is why News 6 is hitting the road. How can we help you? Orlando.com/hitstheroad now and let us know. Live with Lisa Bell, Julie Broughton, Ginger Gadsden, and Chief Meteorologist Tom Sorrells. You're watching WKMG, getting results at 4 p.m.
We are pinpointing scattered showers and thunderstorms on the radar. Some lightning out there as well. Just a few strikes. Not as many as what we were talking about just about 30 minutes ago. But we do have that line of thunderstorms pushing from the Atlantic kind of down to the south and west. An odd movement. That area of low pressure that spun across the peninsula yesterday is exiting out over to the Atlantic and kind of pushing everything back to the south and west. For us in and around Rockledge, a couple of lightning strikes as well as these drift to the south. Apopka, we are seeing and hearing the thunder and lightning right now. Same for us back closer to Howey in the hills and Lake County. And then also right along I-75 for us into Ocala, Denellen, and in northern Marion County as well, where we've been on the drier side, relatively speaking, over the past several days. We're also watching this little area of green. That's what we call an outflow boundary. So it is going to get pretty gusty if you're watching in Kissimmee, if you're hanging out with everybody from WKMG, it hits the road. So we'll be watching for the gusty winds. Certainly the skies are likely getting darker if you are looking back just towards your north and east. Pinpointing the rest of the evening, that's likely going to fill in a little bit further as everything pushes off to the south. And then the second half of the evening should be on the drier side again, just like what we saw last night. There's 8 o'clock for our Friday. We're going to start things off with just a straight downpour right along the coast. You see it there, just like this morning. Most of us are going to be on the drier side. Same for us in Palm Bay and Namico, Rockledge. And then just like today, you see the scattered showers and thunderstorms popping back up again with the heating of the day. Now here's a look at your pinpoint accurate forecast.
Your forecast is sponsored by the Flooring Center.
Temperatures over the next couple of days going to stay warm, not as hot, but certainly on the muggy side. The humidity still cranked up. Temperatures right around 90 degrees tomorrow and Saturday. 60% shot for scattered showers and thunderstorms again to continue again, mainly in the afternoon and evening as we saw with future radar. 40% chance on Saturday. Look at this though. Again, a stray shower or storm is going to be possible on Sunday for Father's Day, but a big-time drying trend starts to roll down the pipeline. You see it there, stray shower and storm chances for most of the upcoming work week, ladies.
All right, Jonathan.
Oh,
thank
my gosh.
you.
Okay, so I'm talking to Jeannie, who's in the audience. She came to see us when we were in Sanford, she and her husband, David.
Yep.
And they're here today, but not just here. They brought us little gifts.
And these allegedly give us good luck, so we're
There's a little
shaking them
bell
lot.
inside, and
Yes.
it rings, and you can hear it. But I just think that's so
nice.
It really is just heartwarming. I
Made our
love that
day.
they are at another location. They don't even live here.
I can't wait to see them next month. Where we go. From the lights to the AC system, a typical school uses a whole lot of energy, but a school in the 34744 zip code is doing the opposite.
Yeah, they're actually producing more power than they are using. Chief Meteorologist Tom Sorrells caught up with some students and the principal of Neo City Academy to explain. All right, that is the future right there.
Fascinating stuff.
Yeah, it really is. All right, our Hits the Road coverage from Osceola County continues at 5 o'clock.
That's right. Tonight I'm going to take you out on Lake Toho. Ginger, you know how to say that? The full name.
Just like you said, Toho.
The Hopakalaga. We're going to show you 2 different experiences, from an airboat ride to bass fishing, both showing off Florida's natural beauty, and there's a lot of it to take in. Plus, the new apartment complex that could be the answer for people who want a nice new place to live that they can also afford. What makes it so unique? That is ahead.